Awesome. So wanted to talk about some ideas we had for using GLQL on the personalized homepage. Um, in case folks haven't seen it, let me try to find the visual and put it up here so you can get a sense of what it is that we're thinking. Come on, Figma. All right, so I'll put this on the screen real quick just so that we got a reference of it in the recording as well. Okay.
And do you have a note document by chance? Or I can
Uh,
take notes
I
on my end.
I don't. I'm terrible at remembering to attach meeting notes. So if you would mind to take
You're
notes,
fine.
that'd be super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Okay. So this is the one of the comps of the homepage. This has been through so many iterations, as you can imagine. Everybody has a opinion, and it's all different from everyone else's. But when we were talking with some end users for user interviews, we heard a lot of folks wanting bookmarks. Like browser bookmarks is what they typically use, but it's not just bookmarks to like specific issues or specific workflow boards. It's like links to lists of things. Like I need to go see all of the merge requests that I'm assigned, or I need to see all of the pipelines that I've authored that are currently failing. And so as we started thinking about this, like we could just add a link to that in the product, but we also potentially could do a lot more by leaning into making that more of a native experience by using GLQL. So instead of having a link to a merge request board, we could, for example, define a little snippet here that has some GLQL, and then we would be able to display a count of those things directly on the homepage, and then potentially allow folks to deep link into them from there. So that's pretty much the entire idea of it so far, right? Is it's not doing the same things that GLQL does so far of listing all of the records that are associated. There's no like complicated table or list presenter logic. It's just really we want to capture the filters, count those things, and then be able to deep link to the appropriate list view from this view. Okay. So questions about that concept, about what it is that we're thinking?
Oh, that makes total sense. Thank you for showing the expected behavior. That's super helpful.
Yeah, it makes sense to me as well. So I think there's a lot of crossover here. It feels like with another collaboration opportunity we're doing with Saved Views, which is with the product planning team.
Yep, we're talking
Um,
with Nick Brandt tomorrow about exactly this.
okay, yeah. So I'm glad to hear that because essentially what they're doing is creating these different views that would leveraging GLQL in one of the views, I believe,
Okay.
that would allow you to populate information like about your work in progress. So
Hmm.
I'm almost wondering if like the work we're doing there just sort of transplants to this area.
Yeah, that'd be
I don't
perfect.
know. Well, I have a couple questions around it. Like one, like from a design perspective, would that even be feasible? Like I'm guessing we would still have to redesign something. But then the second question would be like technically, is that possible? And I think Alyssa and Himanshu would be the ones to best answer that. But yeah, I definitely feel like this has crossover with that project in particular.
Yeah, we've certainly heard some parallels as well. It'd be fantastic if we could reuse stuff. That's been kind of our, not even implicit, like our explicitly stated goal for the homepage is
Mhm,
like, we don't need to invent new things. We just need to consolidate the stuff that's in GitLab into one place. So being
mhm,
able to lean on save views that are managed by plan would be even better.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah, how so we have quite a few opportunities like in flight right now.
mhm.
So from my perspective, like how close of a collaboration are you looking for? Like are you wanting us to partner with you like hand in hand? Are you looking more for guidance as you go along and leveraging it? I'm thinking from a PM perspective of like capacity, like Alyssa and
Yeah.
Himanshu are. working on so many things already. Like I'm wondering how much involvement you would want from their perspective.
It's still pretty early on our side. We're getting you guys
Okay,
involved like literally the week the idea came up because we didn't want to continue going down this
nice.
path and testing it with users if it's just technically unfeasible.
Hmm.
So right now we're prepping for the 18-1 milestone where Amelia is going to be doing a lot of exploration around this, where she's
Okay.
playing with designs, figuring out how this intersects with saved views. And so hopefully by the end of 18.1, we'll have some more guidance and direction. I'm not sure what her user testing plans are for there. She'd been doing some unmoderated testing for that. Maybe that'll be part of it. But so then probably, 4 to 6 weeks, we'll have a direction of where we want to go. But
Hmm.
none of this homepage exists yet, right? So
Yeah.
even if we were to start building it, we say this design is perfect, we want it in there, we're probably 2, 3 milestones out from even having the
Hmm.
basics in the product. Sam,
Yeah.
you have to correct me there, but um, so we'd probably be looking at Q3 before we would even be ready to collaborate in any capacity, whether that's
Hmm.
guidance or looking for, direct contributions, which
Hmm.
frankly would be a help with the limited capacity that our team has. We've only got 2 devs
Yeah.
on the team currently, so this is a big project for our current
Yeah.
staff.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. I think it's a really, I mean, I think it's a really cool project. Every time I log into GitLab, I'm like having a place to go would be really nice. Right now, I just go into the wiki and that's
Yep.
my homepage really.
Yep.
But I can see the value in like servicing this information. Speaking of information,
Mhm.
what are you specifically wanting to surface to people? Because we have some things that we can pull into a view today. Is there specific components though you found in research that users wanted to see?
Um, Issues and merge requests are definitely the big ones. Merge requests really are dominant, right? We only found
Hmm.
kind of a small subset of folks that were using plan enough to need the issues. But the other big one is
Okay.
actually pipelines. Um, and that one I don't think is covered yet really at all from a user-centric perspective. Like we don't have a My
Hmm.
Pipelines dashboard. I don't think those are supported in GLQL yet. So
Hmm.
that would probably be the big one that I would ask for support in your roadmap. But again, we're so
Hmm.
far out and we have so little of this validated that I'm don't consider this a formal request yet. We'll make it when we're ready for it.
Hmm.
I think we already have a request to show pipelines in GLQL. It was made quite early on.
Okay, great.
Uh,
I'll plus
uh,
one that then.
yeah. Uh, my question is primarily around what GLQL is actually used for in the homepage.
Mhm.
Is it just to render the one widget on the side, or can it be used to customize the entire homepage?
At the moment,
Uh,
it's just to create these little short lists. One of our design goals for the first iteration of the homepage is to avoid making it user customizable, right? We want to add some view controls so that people can tweak things, but we don't want to go with a full customizable widget-based dashboard. Um, we have made this decision based on our previous experience at GitLab of shipping customizable things, and people just don't customize. They use it how it ships out of the box, and then that's it. So we could save some design and dev effort by shipping a simple thing. But also, when we did user research on what would your ideal perfect homepage be, the overlap between the participants was like 80 to 90%. So we found that we could ship a pretty standard set of things and address most of the concerns that people would have people would build with a customizable experience anyway. So that said, I don't think we'll avoid it forever, but at least we're starting there with trying to focus on personalizing and tailoring the content while still having a lot of control over the actual structure and markup of the page.
yeah, in my opinion, if we have that foundation of uh, having it customizable, even though you
Mhm.
do not offer it to the user, if you just have that foundation, I think so it will make it easier when you do need to add customization.
Yeah, that's
As
fair.
as long as your pretty sure that we will never offer any kind of customization to users, which I don't think so.
Hmm.
But I do think that I don't know if you would call it customization, but if I have a list, I would like to like maybe filter down on that list. That's something people usually do, even in the issue search today.
Right.
What I don't like about, I mean, I can set the issue search to my homepage,
Hmm.
but when I go back, it should remember what my search is. Like I only
Yeah,
want to look at the issues in my current milestone, for example. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Uh, on
Yeah.
technical feasibility side, I think it's all possible. We are only displaying the count. We don't support that in GLQL yet, but it's fairly easy to add.
Okay.
And the issue with pipelines is that there is no page in GitLab right now that lists all my pipelines from the user's perspective. So even if you add the link, there is no place yet to go to.
Yeah.
So that's another issue.
Yeah, we'll have to work with the CI teams for that.
Yeah, I think for that component, the pipeline component, when we get closer, that would be the opportunity to really collaborate from a technical perspective, to add that aspect to GLQL. Um, yeah, I continue to just think that there's just so much crossover with the saved view
Hmm.
that product planning is doing, and I think you'll see that tomorrow when you talk with
Okay.
Nick, because they essentially have from your mock-up, they have a similar design even of like,
Oh, great.
yeah, you can type in your query here. I'm wondering if we just do like a preset, like when you log into the homepage, there's already a query that's been inputted. That's super basic, but then you could click an edit button and then you'll see the query and you can customize if you want, but it's there from the start.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, our initial plan is to just probably pre-populate it with some standard things that we've already got in the prototype and
yeah.
then offer some canned options that people can just click to add. And basically, they wouldn't even have to necessarily get into the GLQL, but then it's
Mhm,
there powering it and for the power users that want to use it.
mhm. Do you plan on any other saved views in that area, or do you just want to use GLQL only?
Um, I don't know yet. That's something that Amelia is looking at because we have a
Mhm,
number of kind of bookmarking like concepts throughout the product with starred
mhm.
projects and pinning things in nav and
Yeah.
marking an item as to do. And we want to try to consolidate all of those, or at least we're going to look at if there's a possibility to consolidate them. So we have some
Mhm,
designs where there's all sorts of stuff that's cross-linked over.
mhm,
Um, we have some ideas around allowing folks to bookmark any page in the product. So that could be like an issue or a wiki page or whatever.
mhm.
Um, but we don't have a solid direction yet. We're still looking very broadly.
Very cool.
Yeah, though, I guess since I have you, what is your experience with folks using wiki pages as like landing points? Like, do you see folks that are currently bookmarking and sharing out wiki pages they've defined in GitLab? Is that something that, from a business standpoint, it would be helpful to surface that
Mhm.
here?
Yeah, so when we conducted research, it's definitely like it's one of our jobs that we identified, like the connectivity component.
Hmm.
Right now, the wiki pages are super isolated.
Yeah,
So you can store your information there, but you'll notice that to take any actions like creating an issue or doing anything based on that knowledge, you have to click out of it.
right.
So we have a wiki connectivity job to be done, and we have a function that Himanshu created, I believe back in like 16.5, which allows you to link a wiki page to um, a work item
Oh,
via
neat.
autocomplete. But it's very hard to find, and it was a solution, but we need to investigate like how to make it better. So in
Hmm.
the future, like something we've thought about is like adding wiki pages in the relate to function of a work item.
Yeah.
So you could relate your knowledge to a work item. Also creating like a work item off of a wiki page. So if you're
Hmm.
if you have team meeting notes in there and you have an idea, you could just create an issue based on that or an MR.
Yeah.
But I would say right now, like wiki pages and the knowledge in them continues to be pretty isolated. We see really good growth in it over the past couple of years. But I think that's definitely going to help us bridge the gap. So, yeah, I mean, if you can help us in that department by
Hmm.
allowing for bookmarks of pages, like that would be a mutual benefit.
Okay. I'll make sure that I include that in the list of stuff that Amelia's looking at.
Yeah. And I'm sure I mean, it doesn't sound like maybe the top priority, but if you want collaboration from a design perspective, I'm sure Alex on our side would be very interested in that.
Okay. I think we've got a few designers across all of the create
Yeah.
section that are involved in this. So I'll make sure we get Alex pinged in there as well.
Yeah, I imagine that with this project, since it spans so many areas of GitLab, that you will have lots of cooks in the kitchen.
There are many stakeholders, yes.
Yes, that can be both good and challenging.
It is, yes. This project is run differently than some of the other projects that we've done.
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
Cool. Well, I think that was everything that I needed to share on my side and answered all of my questions. Sam, do you have any early questions? I know that like literally you just saw this 2 days ago as well, so
Yeah, right. I'm still fairly new to this myself. I think the only thing I'm thinking at the moment, right, is like the for me the big thing about GLQL is like, you get them interactive tables, you get everything in a nice view, you get all of that things with it. If we're only wanting the counts, like is GLQL the right thing to use here, or are we kind of overpowering it kind of thing? Like are we using this really big powerful thing for this really tiny thing when we can probably use existing APIs or something to get these counts? Um, is it what's the benefit of GLQL here is more probably more what my question is, right?
at least from a product perspective, it's to allow people to customize it, right? So that they can
Hmm.
create their
Yeah.
own GLQL strings, and we don't have to decide up front what lists of things are important to people. It'd be a way for them to push their workflows into the page.
Mhm.
And I would also ask, is the count really important? Because if the count is not important, then you can just link to a page and just have the page title and not use GLQL at all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
certainly
like
the
you could
simplest version of it. Yeah.
filter a list of issues and link directly to that filtered list of
Yep.
issues or whatever it is you want, right?
That's an idea that Alex from our team was uh, also thinking about today. Like, imagine if you had a list of issues or MRs, and instead of writing GLQL, you just copied that list and pasted in a markdown comment, and it would just display a table, and so people wouldn't even have to use GLQL at all.
That'd be
Uh,
super cool.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love the power of it, but like I have to go to the docs every time I want to write one. If I didn't have to do that, it'd even be even better.
Yeah, we're Alex is actually working on like a visual query builder, so
Oh, nice.
allowing it to be a lot easier to write queries. So we definitely there's a barrier to adoption that we recognize.
Yeah.
Um, well, it sounds like the next steps here then are um, for you all on your side in 18.1 to sort of investigate this further.
Hmm.
And if you decide to move forward with this placement, which you seem relatively confident in, um, then
We'll
yeah,
see.
then we can, I would say, yeah, just keep us updated as
Okay.
you go along. And again, we're juggling quite a bit on our end, and but we're happy to continue chatting with you. And yeah, I hope this is successful because I think this could be a really cool project for all GitLab users. So please just keep us updated.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do. Well, thanks for the insights today. And we'll follow up with you again in another month or two.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks
Appreciate
a lot.
y'all. Hope you have a good
Yeah,
afternoon.
great
Bye.
to see you
Bye
all.
bye.
Bye.